crash and burn.
Hey everybody. So tonight I'm just wondering what everyone thought of Tom Savini's 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead. Was it good or was it bad? I love how Tony Todd is in it. I thought that was a wicked addition to the cast. I like how Tom Tolles shows up. And I also I really like what Tom Savini chose to do with the character of Barbara. Whereas Barbara, in the first one, she's sort of this shrinking violet. Once she sees her brother Johnny killed, she sort of retreats into herself. She doesn't really talk much for the rest of the movie until she's killed, which I understand that, and I get the trauma could do that, especially to a more sensitive person like Barbara. But nevertheless, female characters in movies from the 60s, they weren't the strongest to begin with. So I did always kind of feel like the character of Barbara sort of got shortchanged somewhat. So when Savini decided to have Barbara become this full-on badass, that was a really welcomed addition to the changes that he chose to make. I did like how Barbara started off the same as the original Barbara. She was sort of this shrinking violet again who sort of retreated inside of herself. And Tony Todd had shake it out of her, and it was before long she's this gun-toting badass, and she's like we don't even have to run, we could just walk through them. And she's really resourceful, and she's intelligent, and she has a lot to offer. So I thought that was head and shoulders way better than the original. I do like the way Johnny's killed too, when, oh my god, when you see his head hit off the grave. Oh, that is just about the most aggressively non-aggressive thing I think I've ever seen. His temple clunking off the corner of that gravestone is just such an effective way to show that he is no longer a member of the living. Of course, that blow to the head would have just been too severe. And of course, considering the fact that he had the weight of the zombie on him, further throwing him to the ground, just made that impact even more devastating and more traumatic. And so I thought that was really cool too. I liked how Tom Tolles plays a way bigger jackass ruling the basement than the dude did in the original. I thought Tom Tolles took that to the next level, so I really liked that too. My main complaint about this movie, though, is just I prefer the end of the original where Dwayne Jones, they think he's a zombie and he's the only human to make it through. And the guy's like, all right, get him right between the eyes. And the guy clips him and he wasn't a zombie. I thought that was wow, that was one of the best ends to a horror movie ever. Whereas in this one, Tony Todd's character, he just turns into a zombie while he's in the basement, and Barbara finds him at the end. And it's sad. This one has more, I suppose, of an emotional impact because, he hid down there hoping that he'd live. And then, of course, he succumbed to the gunshot wound that Tom Tolles gave him, and he dies in the basement where the gas pump key was all along. So I thought that was really fun. And I did like how Tom Savini sort of turned it into a more 90s feeling movie, of course, because it came out in the 90s. I thought the updating in that sense was better. And I did feel that the characters in the 90 version seemed to work better together than the characters did in Romero's original. But I'm not exactly sure where I land on this one. 100% I loved what he did with Barbara. But then, I don't know, having Tony Todd die in the basement, finding the gas pump key, I thought it was clever and everything, but I preferred the way the original ended. So I don't know, what did you guys think? Do you think the original is better than the 90, which is, I imagine most people are going to say? What did you like about the 1990s remake by Tom Savini? What didn't you like? Don't forget to let me know in the comments. I'm going to go. You guys are amazing. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.